If you're wondering why the Nigerian youth and the youth all over the world are protesting against police brutality, you have no clue, no idea, and think it's all just hooliganism or rebelliousness, listen to this. Ifeoma Abugo, 20, a young lady who had just graduated and was in NYSC, was arrested in place of her fiancé at his residence in Lagos, Abuja. She was sexually assaulted and later died in SARS custody a day after she was arrested, but justice has not prevailed. God-gift Ferguson Ekerete, 24, Tony Oruama, 21, Harry Ataria, 26, were arrested during a raid and then killed in detention that same day on 3rd July 2008. They were falsely accused of being armed robbers and cultists. The police officers responsible are still freely roaming the streets. Johnson Akolade was killed on 31st March 2019 by a SARS officer for looking like a fraudster. He left his home to watch a Liverpool vs Tottenham Spurs match and never returned. The officer responsible still roams freely. Chibuike Anams, 23, had his life cut short on 24th July 2009 when the Nigerian police raided a guest house in Rivers State. After several searches at the police station, his family later found out about his death. The police has refused to comment on his death, and no investigation was ever made into it. Tina Ezekwe, 16 years old, on 26 May 2020 was hit by a bullet when a drunk police officer opened fire to disperse a crowd that had gathered after he shot a bus driver who refused to give him bribe. She was rushed to the hospital and died 2 days after. Justice has not been served, even though it is one of the most popular killings in the recent time. Christian Onuigbo, 28, a father of one, was shot on the 19th March 2009 while parking his car in Jiwa, Abuja. He was then taken to the police station where he spent a night with his wounds before transferred to a hospital that could not treat him since he had no police report. He died on 21st March. Ayomide Taiwo, 20, on the 9th August 2020 was returning back after the Eid al-Kabir celebration in Osun State with his friends when their motorcycle was stopped by a drunk SARS official. After paying the bribe they demanded, the police saw he had more money and then attacked him. He was in coma for 6 days before he lost his battle. Aneke Okorie, 39, a father of 4, was making an honest living for himself Okada riding. On 15th May 2009, he was stopped at a checkpoint in Emene, Enugu. Unable to pay the bribe, he was shot and later died on his way to the hospital. His mother tried to frame him, but was seen by a passerby. 2020 is the year right now, and his case is still on trial. Tiamiyu Kazim, 21, a footballer in Remo Stars, on the 24th February 2020 was stopped by SARS officials, and as they forcefully tried to take him into custody, fell out of the SARS vehicle and was run over by a moving car. This sparked protests where 5 people were killed. Tiamiyu and the peaceful protesters have not forgotten, neither have they gotten any justice. Thomas Mbabu Neye, 20, in November 2011 was hit by a stray bullet while taking his bath at home. His family found his body at the mortuary, which was apparently brought in by the police. Because of this, they were not allowed to retrieve his body and were unable to bury their child. Peter Chibuzo Oforum was a Uniport student who was killed on the April 11, 2016 during a student protest organized to oppose the increase of school fees. His school denied him as a student, even though he was the president of management science in the school at the time of his death. His killer is nowhere to be found. Daniel Ikeaguchi, 20, and his friends were waiting outside of a hotel for his taxi in Rivers State when he saw SARS officers and ran away in fear of being arrested or extorted. The officers accused them of being thieves. They stopped running. As his friend was unpacking his bag for searching, the officers shot Daniel. They were then arrested and Daniel was given no medical attention. When his family finally heard, it was too late. Linda Igwetu, on July 4th, 2018, had just finished her youth service in Abuja barely a day before when she was killed by a SARS officer, Benjamin Peters, while on her way home with friends. When rushed to the hospital, the doctor refused to treat her without a police report, and there she died. Chukwuemeka Matthew Onovo, 22, left his father's house on 4th July 2008. There was a shootout nearby and Chukwuemeka was hit by a stray bullet. When demanding to know where his son was, the police told his father he was an armed robber, which eyewitnesses refuted. The officer responsible was not brought to justice. Musab Samani, a graduate of computer science, on December 4th, 2019 was killed over a minor misunderstanding in Kano State. His killer is not brought to justice. So before you call any Nigerian youth lazy, criminals, ask yourself were any of these innocent people or deserving of this treatment and fate. This is why SARS must end. SARS must be brought to end now. End SARS, end police brutality, end bad governance. And if we know what we're doing, end the present system. Thank you. God bless the Nigeria that is yet unborn. End SARS.